Hello, my name is Titilope Sonuga and I am the Poet Laureate of the city of Edmonton. What a Poet Laureate does is cheerlead for the arts in our city and beyond. I encourage people to see poetry in everything, to move through the world with a poet's eyes, to see that art surrounds us and that even if you're not a poet or an artist, you can still connect to the arts in some way. My family came here to Edmonton from Lagos, Nigeria when I was just 13 years old. And it was through art and storytelling and music and poetry that I saw the world. That's the way I learned how other people live their lives. And art has really been a tool for me for understanding places that I've never been to, people that I've never met. It is why I'm such a champion for people reading stories that are diverse, reading stories from authors who live in another country, who have had another lived experience. And even now, as we enter into the month of Black History, it becomes even more important to reach within your community and find out how Black people have lived both now and in the past and how they will live in the future. It broadens your mind, it expands your perspective. And these books that I'm sharing with you today are well loved in my home. I have a 3-year-old son and an 8-month-old daughter, and we encourage our children to love books early. We read to them before they even understand what's going on. And we read from a diverse collection of stories that tell different stories from people's lives. And we also pull books, just like the ones I'll be sharing with you today, that talk about Black heroes throughout our time, books about young children who love their hair and their body and their lives. It helps to foster a sense of self in them, a strong sense of understanding who they are and heroes that have come before them. I hope that you enjoy these stories that I'll be sharing with you today, and thank you for watching. The first book is from the Little People Big Dream series, and there's a whole collection of these really wonderful books that tell these really great stories. This one is called Maya, and it's about Maya Angelou, who is a poet, an activist, and was a source of great inspiration to me and many young writers for all the work that she did in the poetry space. And this book is about her story. So I'm going to read that to you. It's well loved. It's been taped up and ripped up in so many different ways. We've gone through this book many times in this home. So it's called Maya. When Maya was little, she and her brother took a train to live with their grandmother. People there didn't treat Maya well. Then Maya got hurt. Her brother made her feel better by reading to her. Maya didn't speak very much until a friend told her to try reading out loud. Now Maya loved speaking and she loved books. When she finished school, she thought, "There's nothing I can't be." She was a cook, a streetcar conductor, she was a dancer and a singer and an actress. She traveled the world and spoke many languages. Back at home, she worked hard so that everyone could be treated well. When Maya was all grown up, she decided to write her story. Her words taught people that you can be anything you want to be. And when she read out loud, she gave everyone her favorite thing, hope. That was Maya from the Little People Big Dreams collection. A really great story about how just by telling our own stories and sharing it with the world, we can inspire other people to want to do the same. Next, I'm going to read another fan favorite around here. It's called I Love my hair. Every night, before I go to bed, Mama combs my hair. I sit between her knees, resting my elbows on her thighs like pillows. Mama is always gentle. She rubs coconut oil along my scalp and slowly pulls the comb through my hair. But sometimes it still hurts. When Mama gets to especially tangled places, I try my hardest not to cry, sucking in my breath and pressing my hands together until they are red. But a few tears always manage to squeeze out. Mama, stop, I cry, when I can't stand the comb tugging at my hair any longer. Mama puts the comb down and rubs my hurting places. Then she leans in close to me like she has a big secret to tell. Do you know why you're so lucky to have this head of hair, Kenyana? She asks. I shake my head, no, because it's beautiful and you can wear it in any style you choose. I can spin your hair into fine, soft yarn, just like grandmothers did at their spinning wheels, and weave it into a puffy little bun. Or I can part your hair into straight lines and plant rows of braids along your scalp, the way we plant seeds in our garden, then wait and watch for them to grow. In the morning, before we walk to the store, Mama adds colorful beads to the ends of my braids. The beads click to the rhythm of my walk, helping me remember what we're going to buy. Tap, tap, clickety-clack. Milk, bread, peanut, butter. Folks on the street look at me and smile as I dance along to the tap, tap, clickety-clacky music my hair makes just for me. Some days, I just let my hair be free to do what it wants, to go any which way it pleases. Then my hair surrounds my head like a globe. This is my Afro style. I love my hair because it is a thick forest, soft as cotton candy, and curly as a vine winding upward, reaching the sky and climbing toward outer space. Today, I'm wearing it in my favorite style of all, 2 ponytails that stick out on either end of my head and flap in the air like a pair of wings. One of these days, I just might take off and fly. It is such a lovely book that teaches young Black children to love their hair in all the way that it curls and coils and all the different things they can do with their hair. And just an encouragement to love yourself and to remember this ritual of getting your hair braided, which many young Black girls can remember, can be quite painful, but also the end results are always a nice, beautiful surprise to see what new style your mom or whoever does your hair will come up with. My children love this book too. The final book is also from the Little People Big Dream series. It's called Ali. It is about the famous boxer and activist Muhammad Ali and his story in the world. Cassius was a brave boy who loved riding his bike. But one day, someone stole it, and Cassius got really angry. He decided to learn how to box. He was strong and fast. Cassius won fight after fight. Soon he had an Olympic gold medal. But he wanted to be even better and trained day and night. He teased his opponents, making up poems and rhymes. I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His words gave him the strength to beat the world's toughest fighters. Out of the ring, Cassius defended justice and people's rights. He changed his name to Muhammad Ali, a Muslim name that he really liked. Ali loved boxing in the ring, but he refused to fight a war far away. He became the world champion 3 times before he decided to retire and help others, and showed the world that he was the greatest in and out of the ring. A lovely story about courage, about leadership, and about following your own inner voice and choosing the right thing even when it doesn't look that way. So these were just a few of the books that we read in our home that add color to my children's bookshelves. We love to choose stories, not just of Black people, but of people who come from a different culture, who come from a different world. It allows us to expand our minds and to think more broadly about the ways that people live in the world. I love art and literature because that is what it does. When you read a story or hear a poem, you dive into the world of the person who has offered that work, and you learn something new. You learn about somebody else's way of life, which I think is a very beautiful thing. I encourage people to see poetry in everything, to move through the world with a poet's eyes, to see that art surrounds us, and that even if you're not a poet or an artist, you can still connect to the arts in some way. It was through art and storytelling and music and poetry that I saw the world. That's the way I learned how other people live their lives. And art has really been a tool for me for understanding places that I've never been to, people that I've never met. It is why I'm such a champion for people reading stories that are diverse, reading stories from authors who live in another country, who have had another lived experience. And even now, as we enter into the month of Black History, it becomes even more important to reach within your community and find out how Black people have lived both now and in the past, and how they will live in the future. It broadens your mind, it expands your perspective. We encourage our children to love books early. We read to them before they even understand what's going on. And we read from a diverse collection of stories. It really has been my pleasure sharing these stories with you. I encourage you, parents who are watching, to, when you walk into a bookstore to buy a book for your child or for yourself, look somewhere else that you haven't looked before. Pick up another name that you don't recognize, another story that will open you up into a whole new world. And for the little kids who are listening to these books, I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you continue to see poetry and music and art in the world as you move through it. And I hope that you are encouraged to tell your own stories one day. It's been my pleasure. Again, my name is Titilope Sonuga. I am the Poet Laureate of the City of Edmonton. And I hope that you are well and safe wherever you are. Goodbye.